Hello guys, I'm Sherman Elsing from Into the Gaming, and here is my highly anticipated review for the 007 movie Spectre. Spectre is the 25th James Bond movie, and it is directed by Sam Mendes, and it stars Daniel Craig, Christoph Waltz, Dave Bautista, Ben Whishaw, Lea Sydeoux, Monica Bellucci, Ralph Fiennes, Adam Scott, and I think that's pretty much every single important actor in the movie. And it's a really great cast. I've always really enjoyed the 007 franchise. I grew up with the Pierce Brosnan movies, then I also watched the older ones, and when they came out, the Daniel Craig ones, mainly Casino Royale and Quantum of Solace, I wasn't a big fan of them because I did prefer as a little kid the more gadgety ones. They were way too violent. But now I really enjoy them, I really dig them, and I really loved Skyfall. And everyone's expectations were really high for Spectre, and I do see why some people have problems with this movie. But me, personally, I love it. The more and more I think about this movie, I like it even more. What I really enjoyed in this movie compared to the other ones was that it mixed the grittiness of Daniel Craig with the fun of the Roger Moore ones, and I did really enjoy it. Some people found it out of place, but in my opinion it fit the tone really well because there has been an evolution of 007 in these movies. He was young in Casino Royale and he became more heartless, but after the event of Skyfall now he's a different person, he's a changed human being, and I do like seeing him have a bit more of humor in him. And there are some really funny sequences in the movie, but let's get to the story first. The story is the weakest point of the movie, mainly because we expected more from Sam Mendes and from the rest of the crew coming out of Skyfall, which had a really interesting story. But this one feels a little bit more by the number, but that's not necessarily a bad thing as many are saying, because it's still a James Bond movie, and you want to have fun, you want to have great action, and you want to have a fun story, and the story basically involves James Bond going around the globe trying to find out who Spectre is. It's a criminal organization, and he wants to find the main villain of the organization, who is played by Christoph Waltz brilliantly. And that's pretty much everything I can say without spoiling a thing or two. And the movie was a lot of fun. The movie is easily one of the best looking James Bond movies yet. And the action sequences are also brilliantly filmed. There is almost no shaky cam. The introduction to the movie that's set in Mexico City during the Dia of Los Muertos or whatever, that was fantastic. It begins with a long tracking shot through all this festival with thousands of extras, and you follow James Bond and he goes on the building as you see in the trailer, and then he shoots, everything blows up, then he gets in a helicopter, he fights in it. It's probably one of the best openings to a 007 movie I've ever seen, and it was really amazing. And then the music, the Writings on the Wall by Sam Smith, if I'm not mistaken, it kicks in. I really enjoyed it. Some people are hating it quite a lot, but me personally I love it. It's a pretty great song. It's probably in the lower spots in the top, my personal top 10, but I found it really good, and it had that classic James Bond feel to it. I did like other things, for example, the villain's motivation. It made sense to me. I've seen the movie with a friend of mine and he didn't really like the explanation, but I found it quite interesting, and it did tie together everything that happened in the other movies quite nicely. But I have to say that the ending of the movie was a little bit underwhelming. It felt really derivative of a lot of other movies. And while watching it, I wasn't all that into it, even though it was still interesting in other aspects. I didn't find the actual James Bond arc all that interesting in the end. If you've seen the movie, you probably know what I'm talking about. That's probably the biggest issue I have. The story wasn't all that deep as in the other movies, and the ending was a bit underwhelming, but other than that, I love the action sequences. There are plenty of them. There is a phenomenal fight scene between James Bond and Dave Bautista on a train. It's probably 3 or 4 minutes of them just punching each other, crashing into walls, with only the sound effects in the background. It was fantastic for someone like me who really enjoys action. and the acting was great. Lea Sydeoux was a really interesting Bond girl, probably one of the best ones that we've had so far. Honestly, in the end, I don't really know if you will like it or not, because fans of the Pierce Brosnan movies are hating this one, fans of Roger Moore movies are hating this one, fans of Daniel Craig movies are hating this one. But then when you turn around, you see fans of Daniel Craig movie loving this one, fans of Pierce Brosnan movies loving this one, fans of Sean Connery. It's a weird movie. I can't really tell if you will like it or not. But to wrap everything up, if you do like greatly filmed action, if you do like a lot of fun from a 007 movie, if you don't mind having a relatively simple and silly plot, if you don't mind really fun in movies, if you don't mind just sitting there and relaxing, I think you will probably really enjoy this movie. It's not necessarily one of the best James Bond movies, but it really doesn't have to be. Okay, not every James Bond movie should be Casino Royale, it shouldn't be that gritty, violent movie, origin story. It's a James Bond movie, and I can't wait to see it again, because it was a lot of fun and I had a great time. And it is 2.5 hours long, but it did not feel like it. It's probably one of the shortest long movies I've ever seen, because when we got to the climax, I was like, this can't be the climax, it can't be 2.5, holy shit, 2 hours and 15 and past, and it's over 10 p.m. That was amazing, and that really speaks volumes of how well this movie was made, at least in my opinion, because right now, guys, it's your turn. Tell me in the comments below if you enjoyed the movie. Probably some of you will say they hated it, it's probably one of the worst James Bond movies in your opinion. Some others will say it was fantastic, others will say they just didn't mind it. Still, guys, thanks for watching, tell me everything you want in the comments below. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.